Ventthis, we're still here. Nobody kicked us off YouTube. We're still on Instagram. We're on Facebook. They didn't disconnect our phone number. We're still here. It's our 73rd episode. We're calling it Have You No Shame. We've got some wild vents. I'm here with our handsome Paul Roseberry, who hasn't had any sleep because he's got a brand new baby.
Yeah.
But we're hanging in there. We have a vent about somebody, if they want to pull in their car or back in their car, somebody's got a beef about that. Some guy or girl wrote in about their toilet overflowing. It's a very embarrassing situation. And we have a vent about American cheese, which brings me to our special guest, Josh Kaplan, who's one of the hosts of Friends Talking Shop. He's here with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, give us a big applause for Josh Kaplan.
Yeah. Wow, thank you. That's quite an intro. I appreciate it. Great to be here.
It's nice to have you.
Great to have you, man.
So tell us a little bit about Friends Talking Shop.
Yeah.
Sure.
What's going on over there?
Yeah, so we're kind of like you guys. We're into the art of complaining, and that's kind of what we tackle. So it's myself and my two co-hosts, Dave and Omar. We've worked together in the same industry for a number of years, so that's how we knew each other. And these guys wanted to do a podcast that was basically based on the conversations that we have at industry events and dinners, and all after hours, by the way, not during the events, but. The origin was we always went to this one conference, and after the dinners and drinks, we would go to this fire pits outside and gather around and just talk about nonsense. And the last thing we wanted to do was talk about work. And then it was Omar or Dave. One of them always yells at me when I tell the story wrong. But they just said, "Hey, listen, this is funny. This should be a podcast. We should talk about this." And it was just utter nonsense that we had all dealt with in life on a day-to-day basis. And I was very reluctant at first, but eventually I gave in, and here we are 86 episodes later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Good for you.
Thank you.
86.
Yeah. 86. We've been doing it for a few years. It's going great. It's a lot of fun. And that's what we said to ourselves. We said, we're only going to do it if we're still having fun. That was the whole basis. But we do kind of what you do. I mean, we take a topic. Each of us comes to the table with a topic each episode, and it's something that we've experienced that we want to vent about, or that we're ticked off about, or complain about, or we think is weird, and we want an opinion from the other two. We do it where it's unrehearsed. We don't tell the other two what our topic is, so it's coming in very new and fresh.
Cool.
And that's the podcast. It's been great.
So
what? I was going to ask what your logo in the back. I'm seeing swords. I'm seeing snakes, bottles.
Yes.
What's the theme?
So look, the theme is none of that. Basically, Omar has a connection, and it's actually there's kind of an indirect theme, but we are sponsored by Deacon Whiskey. Whiskey, Smoky Sweet and Pete. So Deacon Whiskey is owned by one of Omar's dear friends. And he lent us his photo studio, and we shot a whole bunch of promo pictures there. And so that was the one that you see behind me that turned out to be our latest and greatest logo. So that's Omar.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And Dave's in the middle. I'm kind of blocking his head, and then I'm over my other shoulder there.
wait, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see Dave. Move your head. Hi, Dave. Got it.
Oh, look at that. I was
There's
wondering
Dave,
if we would see Dave.
I don't want to show too much. It takes away from me. So I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep him covered. He's too handsome.
Keep Dave in check.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, remember on Tool Time back in the day, the neighbor whose face was covered by the fence?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
What is it? Wilson, right?
Wilson.
Wilson.
Yeah.
Nice.
You only saw like his eyes and above. Yeah.
Ever. I think they'd even like, when they would do credits or something, he had like a fence on a stick. Did you ever see that?
That's
awesome.
Right. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But so Josh, have you got anything for us? You got any events? Because we have
Of course.
Let's
Chris,
lay it
I
out.
always have vents.
You got a nice cachet to be drawing from, it sounds like. You got an arsenal.
Yeah, I tell the guys, I every time I experience something or see something, I put it in my iPhone and I bank it. So eventually it'll come out. But here's one that I haven't talked about in a very, very long time. I don't even think I've talked about it on our podcast, but it's something I've been complaining about forever. So look, I'm a cheese guy. I love cheese. Everyone loves cheese, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Unless you're lactose intolerant, everybody loves cheese. There's tons of cheese. The amount of cheese that exists today is great. Gouda, brie, provolone, mozzarella,
Mm,
camembert,
mm.
Swiss,
Oh,
manchego. Right? Right?
you don't have to
Too
Then
tell
much.
me.
then we have American cheese. And American cheese is gross. All right? I will
What?
it's gross. Let's be honest. I will
Yeah. No,
always
100%.
opt for another cheese if I see a menu item with American cheese on it. And this is the part that gets me. Here's my vent. It's not that it's gross. It's the fact that it's embarrassing for our great nation to
Thank you.
slap our patriotic name on this shitty cheese.
Yep.
What?
We we have so many better cheeses. We got cheddar. We got Colby Jack. We chose American. We named that cheese American. It's
What
embarrassing.
are you talking, Josh? The sliced cheese you put on a
You know what he's
burger when you're
talking
on the
about.
grill?
I'm talking
Kraft
about
singles.
well, Kraft singles are the lowest rung of American cheese. You got there's New York sharp. There's variations, but it's the shittiest of the shitty is the Kraft singles. The Velveeta orange
Yeah,
Kraft.
the
Oh,
Velveeta.
Velveeta. Come on, that's the
It's
It's
worst.
garbage.
absolute bullshit.
But even if you go to the butcher, not butcher, but you go to the
Yeah,
store
a
and you
deli.
get the sliced cheese, the deli, thank you, that's the word I couldn't think of. And you go and you get the sliced cheese. There's other variations of American cheese. It's all subpar. We are a first world nation with a
Yeah.
third world cheese.
It's funny.
Am I wrong?
Thank you, Josh.
Am I wrong?
Thank you for bringing this.
We should rename cheddar American cheese, and American cheese should be named cheddar. Then that's something to be proud of. You go to France, you go to Italy, you can't get American cheese.
No.
Why? Not because we can't export it there. They don't want it.
They don't want it.
They don't want it. Keep that
And
shit in the States.
Think about like French toast is something everybody enjoys. Like
Absolutely.
French toast, even if it's done poorly, it's still pretty good. Like we bring in other people's namesake in a positive tone that yields some respect. I agree. This has bothered me for years. The namesake,
Thank you.
American on the shittiest version
of our cheese. It's the worst we have to offer.
And we're a dairy country.
Yes.
Come on, we produce. This is one of our GDP. This is part of our products here.
We made Monterey Jack. We made Colby Jack. We made cheddar. These are all far superior to American cheese. It's really embarrassing. And look, all the cheeses I named in the beginning, provolone, mozzarella, Gouda, brie, those are all made elsewhere. We bring them in. Why do we bring them in? Because they're good. People want them.
Yeah.
Nobody wants American cheese outside of America.
Oh, sorry, Paul.
Chris, it seems like you might like American cheese. Am I wrong here?
Oh, just
You're
wait.
100% right. I happen to love American cheese. You put a
Christ.
I mean, I'm a true American dude. You get me a burger, okay?
Yeah. You're gonna put American cheese on it.
I'll either go with the provolone or I'm going with the American cheese because I can't
Interesting
imagine any other
spread.
What?
Interesting spread. I don't mean to interrupt. We'll come back to it, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't go to In-N-Out's a big thing here in
Yes,
California,
I know
right?
In-N-Out. I'm aware of In-N-Out.
Okay.
Yep.
They put American cheese. I'm going to
do.
bet myself they put you. I don't eat Burger King or McDonald's, but I'll bet you they put American cheese on it.
But it's crap. Look, there's a
is.
couple exceptions. I'll give you a grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
That's okay with American cheese. I'm going to give you that.
But to your point,
else,
Chris, how much better would it be with cheddar?
Exactly.
How much better would it be?
Right. It
would be so much better. Even you know what else is a nice grilled cheese, and you probably don't do it very often. Swiss is nice on a grilled cheese.
Very underrated. Swiss.
And do you
Very
think
underrated.
that Switzerland would put out a bullshit version?
Correct.
I mean, they would stop it in its tracks.
That's my
Do
point.
you think people would trust them with their money from around the world if their cheese tasted like American?
Where's the quality control? Where is it? Chris,
Democrats.
do you like yellow mustard? I
I like Dijon.
Ah, okay. So I thought most people who like American cheese are also the yellow mustard type, which I can't stand either.
No, I don't like yellow.
Not
Said
mustard.
with such contempt.
Once you
I
reach
am a
age
French's.
12, once you reach age 12, you can't eat yellow mustard anymore.
I'm still a
That's it.
French's
It's for
yellow.
kids.
100%.
I'm still a French's yellow.
What? Oh, come on, man. Really? You'll opt for that over deli mustard over brown mustard?
It's there are times you know what, no, hold on, if I'm having like a nice like a good roast beef, if I'm having like a
You'll put
pastrami,
yellow mustard on that?
then I do
No.
want the
Thank
Dijon.
you.
I do.
Thank you.
I just don't want it. And I guess over time I've kind of evolved, I'll call it that, but there are just like on a hot dog, I want yellow mustard. I
No.
want yellow mustard. I want red ketchup.
Do you like when the water comes out first when you from the
Oh,
container? You
asshole.
like that as well?
horrible.
Yeah.
This guy
Horrible.
I drink that water with a straw, and I'm gonna start selling it. Mustard water. I'm gonna start in Philly. That's where I'm
Yellow-
gonna start. And I'm
yellow
gonna call
mustard.
it Kaplan's mustard water. That's what I'm gonna call
Wait,
it.
hey, Josh,
Yes.
what cheese do they put on a Philly cheesesteak?
Provolone.
No
Really?
bullshit.
No, they don't. So the that's what I put on. But the standard is called Cheese Whiz.
Oh,
That hasn't made it out of Philly either. That's the standard. So if you don't mention a cheese, they're going to put whiz on it. That's what they're going to
Okay.
do.
Josh,
Yeah.
in your opinion, and you have established some very strong cheese credibility here, which
Thank you.
is of value.
Thank you.
Do you believe the cheese whiz that goes on a standard Philly steak, is it cheese?
Okay. It is. I'm going to lose a little bit of my Philly card here. I don't like Cheese Whiz at all. I
Me
can't.
too.
I can't stand it. I think it's pretty crappy cheese. But that's how good the Philly cheesesteak is. That it.
Oh, for sure.
It's so good despite the Cheese Whiz. But I will always opt for provolone. You can always opt for provolone.
Can you?
Absolutely.
I didn't know that.
So we
Yes.
just got some Philly Kana going on here. We just got the inside scoop. You can opt.
Absolutely.
Do you think most locals do?
No, I think they go with the default.
Yeah.
For the amount of times that I've been to the true places in Philadelphia, the gyms, the Pats, and those places, a lot of people opt for the default, the whiz. But I'm not in that camp. I'm gonna put that in the same camp as American cheese. I think it's garbage. It's garbage.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're right, though. I mean, if it's within a packaged combination such as a Philly steak, I mean, yeah, okay, there's a certain tradition. But I mean, like, I noticed years ago, and the reason I ask if you think it's cheese, I'm not just being a prick. It's because I noticed, and I was disturbed when I noticed this. One time I was at the grocery store and I was looking at the various cheeses and getting upset about the American. If you look at, I think it's Velveeta and any store brand variation,
Yeah.
it's not called cheese.
Really?
It's called, no, if you look at it, it's kind of like Kentucky Fried Chicken is a
but
phrase,
that's
not chicken.
That's not real though. That's an old wives' tale.
Okay,
The whole
yeah,
KFC
so
thing. It's really chicken.
If that's an old wives' tale, fine.
Yes.
But this is the cheese version of it. It's called processed cheese food product.
That's interesting.
God.
If you look it up,
Yeah,
it doesn't
that's
say
interesting.
cheese.
Yeah.
And it's a phrase, processed cheese food product. So it's a cheese. You know what I mean? It's like they're saying
it's in the cheese Venn diagram. Yeah, it's an overlapping type of Venn.
it's an
there,
essence
but
of cheese.
Yeah.
If you
But
look at
there's-
the box while chewing it, it could be cheese.
Look, all you have to do is just understand the reach, right? The company I work for is headquartered in St. Louis, and so I go to St. Louis every once in a while. They have a special pizza there called Emo's Pizza. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it's the only pizza I've ever had that doesn't put mozzarella on the top. It's not mozzarella. It's called Provel cheese, and it's a synthetic blend.
Oh.
And when I tell you it's disgusting, it is vile. It's vile.
Are we talking like sawdust? Like
No.
like wood
It's
chips ingredient?
It's like it's almost like they put the Velveeta on and they left the plastic on top by accident.
Oh,
That's
God.
what it's like.
That's good. That's
All
good.
right.
I follow you.
And the people in St. Louis, my colleagues, they love it. They're like, "Oh, Emo's is great. What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Listen,
I know.
if Emo's was great, it would be outside of St. Louis.
Correct.
It would be in other places. It's not. It's shit. It's shit. The
That's
only
the
reason
glass
you
ceiling.
like it is because you were fed it as a baby, and that's what you now think is good. That's it.
You know what? I think that's how we all are with music. I think we all
Yes.
love whatever music we had the most sex to. If you were having all your sex in the 90s music is the shit. If you were fucking in the 80s music is the shit. And as soon as you got past and you were like monogamous and you hadn't been wild for a while, you're into podcasts now. That's what you're into, So every decade's music is shit. It's all shit. You can find some good within, but it's the majority's trash.
All right. That's
But
an interesting theory.
Yeah.
so if you were having fun with your buddies and clinking beers and watching a game too, Emo's Pizza, Emo's is the fucking bomb. But if you broke it down on, if you brought them in on like
It's an outsider,
off day,
fresh eyes, yeah, that's right.
But even if you brought them in and did like a blind taste test, ingredient by ingredient, and you just had them taste that cheese, it sounds like you'd be like, I don't know.
I once went to a bar to watch a football game when I was in St. Louis, traveling in St. Louis. I was with a couple colleagues. We got a pizza. We didn't realize it came out with the Provel cheese on it. And we said, "Is this Provel?" And the guy said, "Oh yeah, that's all we have." We gave it to the table next to us.
Wow.
That's how bad this
Wow.
didn't eat a bite. Do you guys want this? We don't want it. That's how shitty that cheese is.
We need to blow up Provel. We need to tag them in this episode.
I can't believe
shame them. This is about shame. So we should shame Provel. Let me ask you, Josh, just in being pragmatic here, because I am 100% on board with America needs pride in its American cheese. Here's the question.
Yes.
I'm thinking logistics. So we've been American cheese for 50 years, 60, 70, whatever.
Yeah.
And everybody knows that it's the junk one. So you and I both, when we go to a restaurant, we're like, oh, and I'll get it with the other cheese, whatever it is. If it says American, I want my burger. Yeah, accept the way it is, but just give me cheddar. How do we have to start calling it the new American? You know what I mean? If we revolutionize this and we all agree we're going to have a new good American.
Listen.
No.
This has got to be done from the highest office. This has to be an executive order.
Yep.
This has to come from the White House.
I agree.
And it has to be so everyone is aware. This is the executive order. We are renaming American cheese cheddar, and now cheddar is called American. And that's
what
now
I'm saying,
everybody knows. Everybody knows.
But my fear is, what if this happens and the trickle down hasn't permeated into the masses yet? So everyone isn't realizing that cheddar, like when I say American or the menu says American, are we going to have to bracket cheddar so we know, or like the new one?
For the first couple years, for the first couple years,
Yeah.
we'll have the parentheses, formerly cheddar, formerly American, right? First couple years. And of course, the wait staff will all be trained to make sure that everyone knows, hey, you're not ordering American, you're ordering cheddar. And by the way, people are going to be very happy. Like, oh, that's awesome. It's just got to happen. Just for the pride of this country. Just for the pride of this country.
For the pride. I agree.
I'm not, this is not a bullshit story. It's real quick. I actually had dinner with David Petraeus, the General Petraeus.
Yeah.
And I told him this.
Good for you.
Oh,
and
wow.
I told
What'd
him,
he say?
I said, you got to know people, man. You got to make this happen because this is a travesty. It's a travesty of the American experience.
Do you agree?
Oh my God. What
he laughed and then left the table.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Abruptly?
No, I'm kidding. He appreciated the comment, but I don't think he ran with it. Something tells me he did not run with it after.
And
our
you know
meal.
what? You know what else is you're the first person to mention his name to me in the last 20 years. So
there you go.
I think if he listened to you, he could be a trending title again. He could be back on top.
Oh, there we go.
You gave him a PR blitz that he totally passed on. It melted between his fingers, unfortunately. There's some kind of
there you go.
I
That
think,
was good. That was a good
I think the
metaphor.
guy's probably got a few bigger things on his plate than
He might, Chris,
just
but
a few.
Didn't they call him Betrayus? Didn't they like Petraeus betrayed us or something? He had some sort of a scandal.
He had a scandal with the woman who wrote his autobiography or biography, not autobiography. But yeah,
this would clear all.
This would right every wrong. This would right every wrong.
This would be his epitaph. This would be the top of his totem pole.
Yeah, that's right.
I think you're going in the right direction. We need an inside person who needs a base hit.
Who knew American cheese could go on for 20 minutes. I can't believe we could find a discussion about
You know
American
how many more viewers
cheese.
we're going to have now? Do you know how
It's
many patriotic
amazing.
people just said, you know what, these guys,
That's
because
right.
all
It's
of
all
our
about
gripes are social. This is
I, th-
ingestional.
I think we should,
this
I
covers
think
everything.
then we
Yeah.
should put it out there that those of us who like American cheese and those of us who don't like American cheese and those of us who would want cheddar cheese to be the new American cheese.
That's right. That's what I'm
Let,
proposing.
let,
It's
let's
exactly
see
what
if
I'm
we can get what
proposing.
kind of information we can get
Yeah,
from that.
let's get an exit
Yeah.
poll here because
love it.
and I'll say too on the way out. I think most of us think American is cheddar. I think that's what we think because it's orange.
I hope you're wrong. I really do, just for the sake of our
Yeah,
whole
I don't-
well-being in
Well,
society.
because otherwise we don't know what the hell it is. You know what I mean? It's just a non. Hey, how about this? I got a buddy. I haven't talked to him in a long time. He's kind of a prick, but anyway, he did have a good point one time. He said, "Did you ever realize cheese shouldn't be orange?"
Well,
He said, cheese is white. It comes from milk, which is white. The only reason it's orange is because we've added
yeah, that's right.
color to it.
Yeah,
So
of
we're
course.
already full of shit. It shouldn't even be orange.
No,
American
it shouldn't be
cheese
orange.
should be a white cheddar, I think.
White cheddar. White cheddar.
All
Pride,
right.
Pride of Wisconsin. All right.
Josh Kaplan,
all
bringing
right.
the truth. Bringing the truth.
We want the data, folks. American cheese or cheddar cheese called American cheese. Let's hear it. Let's hear.
There we go. There we go.
And you don't have to be bashful in your votes because you have Chris on whatever Josh and I just shit on for 20 minutes straight. Chris is going to have it for dinner tonight. She's
But
looking
Chris
forward to it.
She likes American cheese, but something tells me she would opt for cheddar.
100%.
Thank you. That's my
Okay,
point.
But Josh,
That's my
and
point. That's my
before we
point.
move on to the next event,
Yeah.
I just want to say this. I can't eat American cheese when I peel it off the plastic. You know how it
Okay.
comes like, okay, I can't eat it that way, but put it on a burger, on a griddle, I'm all there. I'm all in. So it depends on where you put the cheese.
I hear you, but you have to stop buying American cheese in plastic. There's other American cheese that's
That's
a
true.
little bit better, right?
yeah.
Do you know what that does to the taint size? I'm sure.
I know. All right, so we move on to the next event.
Yes.
I think we should move on.
Sure.
I think so.
All
I
right.
think we
I
settled
think all
that.
this cheese has created a movement in our show.
All right, Loretta, play it, baby.
Why don't all of us back into our parking spaces? It's so much easier to pull out of a space that way. I am sure everyone will agree. Let's hear the response from your viewers.
Oh, I have to just say this. I don't have a whole lot to say about pulling your car in forward or backing it in, but when somebody backs in their car and let's say it's like an Escalade or some gigantic truck,
Yeah.
and they take forever,
Okay.
that drives me nuts.
You hit my mark. Do we agree that driving forward is easier than driving in reverse? I think everyone would agree with that, right?
Yes.
I do. Yeah.
You know, unless you're Dukes of Hazzard, they were pretty good at reverse.
Yeah.
But everyone would agree with that. But when you park, I don't know if everyone's noticed this. When you park, one part of it is forward, the other part of it is reverse. So it really doesn't matter if you back in, because just like you said, Chris, when you're backing in, you're causing a whole commotion and blocking shit that's trying to get past you.
Yep.
And you know, it's a little bit of a dicey situation if the spot's a little tight, right?
Yeah.
But if you're backing out, it's the same thing. So what's the difference? Either you're backing in or you're backing out. You still have to back. You still have to put the car in reverse one way or the other.
No,
Chris, let's see what you got. Yeah, you seem very adamant.
Yes, because you're adding two obstructions by backing in. You're taking time, and then when you go forward, you might have to maneuver a little bit to get out. If you just pull in, it's a done deal. You're done. That extra step is gone.
Oh, so you're not for backing in at all. You're against backing in altogether.
Well, it depends. If nobody's around me, I don't always stay within the lines. I'm not the best backer inner, but if there are people on both sides of me, I'm going to pull in. I'm not going to take a chance.
Well, all right, Chrissy, I'll I was wondering if you were going this direction, and I kind of sounds. So my concern is this: if you get a line of cars, right?
Yeah.
And so you got people behind you, you got a spot that's perpendicular. You know, we're not parallel parking. You got the perpendicular. You're going to confuse the guy behind you
You're gonna go
distance wise
forward.
because you're
Yep.
going past the spot, and now you're going to back into it. He thinks you've given up the spot,
Right.
which rightfully would be his if we all continue this way. Whereas
Right.
if you initiate to pull in the spot before you've reached it, everyone knows what you're doing. We all know. So you go past the spot and then start backing up. This other guy thinks, oh, I got a spot. Wait, what the hell is this guy doing? He's doing a back in.
That's
And
happened
then
to
what
me.
if he was behind you? What if he wasn't even grabbing the spot? He was just following you to get out.
Yeah.
Now you need him to back up. What if there's someone behind him? Now he has to back up. Everyone has to back up because
Yeah.
they might be
That's
now
right.
blocking the spot. So that would be
So
my
you're
concern.
so you're not for it either.
No.
You're for forward parking every time. This is interesting to me because I like the backward park. But to me, when I thought about it, it doesn't matter because you have to do both arms, you have to do both legs of the parking situation. It doesn't, you're backing out or you're backing in.
Well,
You're
all right.
it doesn't matter. It
To,
doesn't
to,
matter.
but to your point, all right.
Yeah.
If we take traffic out of the way, there's
Yeah,
no one around.
no cars. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then to your point, because most of us have a camera in our car
Yes.
now, and we've
Correct.
got those little semi-translucent lines that can guide us. And probably, I would think, when you know you're going to back in, you angle wide when you go past the spot. So you gave
True.
yourself a great berth to back into. So you're right. Then we're actually better drivers in reverse because we've got the camera, we've got the lines, and we're at a wide angle coming in. So the backing up can be beautiful. Whereas you always have to wonder when you pull in, it's going to be a couple points. And you're never just going to do the single swoop. You know what I mean? You start the swoop, then you got to back up, and then you got to correct. And you don't have front cameras, a lot of us. So you got to wonder, am I on the line? Am I next to the other guy? You can get a much better angle backing in. You actually
That's a
can
fair
nail
point.
it, you know, because
You know the ultimate, right? You know the ultimate parking. The ultimate parking is when you pull in forward and the spot in front of that spot is empty and you pull right through. Now you're forward in, forward out. My God, that's a happy day. That's a happy day.
Tell me there isn't a little bit of paranoia in your mind as you pull through, knowing you've got it. You know, there's that little bit of paranoia. Is there a cement partition that I didn't notice that's going to tear the bumper off my fucking car? I think I'm
100%.
good, but if I'm wrong, I lost a radiator. Like I'm fucked. If
That's not what I thought you were going to say, Paul. That's
say?
true. I thought you were going to say that someone's coming in at the exact time that you're pulling through, that they're coming in front in that spot. Yes.
Which sucks.
Yes.
But you can at least recover to backing into your original spot.
Yes. And you got to give the
Unless
wave. You better give the wave. You got to
you got to give the wave. I wonder
wave.
if anyone's ever been in that awkward position if someone pulls in the front and someone pulls in behind, like the Chinese finger cuffs. Like, is anyone? That'd be a good Seinfeld episode or something.
I have a question. I don't use those lines. Those lines should disappear on your camera.
What do you mean you don't use
They're
parking
the
lines?
dumbest things I've ever seen.
Chris.
Every time I move the wheel, the line's moving. Now it's throwing me all off.
Oh, you mean on the car? You mean on the car screen?
Yeah, the screen. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. On the camera. Who uses
If you
that?
learn
It's
how to
useless.
use them, Chrissy, I'll tell you,
use
I
them.
initially resisted them. I saw them as fluff garbage.
No.
Once I realized that they're there for a reason and I learned how to use them, they're brilliant. It's like if you can catch the very tip of the line that bends and you keep a bead, like a welder's bead with the line of your parking spot.
Yes, that's right.
It's thoughtless. It's thoughtless and it's perfect. Gary says you got to trust the lines.
I have. Oh, we're allowed to allude to Gary? I didn't know we were allowed to.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sound engineer Gary is very real.
Okay. All right. People know who he is. So I have a long, windy driveway.
I will rich
back
bastard.
Yeah. No.
I park in a gutter and I sleep there. But anyway.
It's all dirt. It's dirt roads. It's no. But I will use my camera the entire. I don't even turn my head. I use I look at my screen. I take the driveway up and around the entire way with my backward camera. Chris, you gotta
Wait,
adopt
Josh,
it.
you can't. Come on. We used to back up without cameras. I can back
we
my
used to.
car up and go 15 miles an hour with my head turned back and back right in. When I see those lines, I'm like, come on, don't tell me I'm here or there. I'll figure it out.
Chris, we also used to get bloodlettings, but we don't do that anymore because it's
Wow.
not smart anymore. This is a
Wow.
better way. This is a better way.
I'll try. I don't
Yeah,
like
I'm telling you.
Bloodletting.
Listen, this is the same thing I deal with sometimes with my wife. So I don't know if you guys have this situation with your significant other, but my wife doesn't load the dishwasher properly. And she's heard me say
Ever.
this 1,000 times.
I don't
Ever.
either.
She just throws shit in there and it drives me nuts. And I say, there's a reason why the people at General Electric, at Whirlpool, why they designed the tines this way. They didn't just throw them in haphazard. They threw them in because they thought this is the optimal, most efficient way to load plates, bowls, dishes, silverware, right?
Preach.
Same thing with the lines in your car camera, Chris. There's technology experts that took hours and hours and hours to figure out how to put those lines there so it would be the perfect way to align your driving with what you see outside. You gotta embrace it.
Chrissy,
What?
it's like
Am I wrong?
No,
No,
but what if you don't need them?
But you do need them. It's like if you had a rifle and you had a scope,
yeah.
and sure you could
Wow.
see someone 200
Yeah.
yards away or 100 yards away, but would you rather use the scope?
Yes.
Yes.
But
That's
the
a great.
scopes,
Also,
that's
Chrissy,
the metaphor.
Chrissy, have you ever used? So they came out with this thing. People get tired of running math in their head, and they came out with a calculator.
Right.
And you don't. It's bullshit. It's
I've
bullshit.
heard of it.
Assholes who don't know how to just really embrace math. They don't know how to take time and write out, about 11 versions and digits on legal pads when they want to know if HBO is a good deal this month. They're long. It's the calculator of, I get it. There's a pride to what you're talking about. And I love
I get
that
it.
you're
I
standing
do
by
get
it,
it.
Chrissy.
Yep.
People don't know how to drive anymore. And it's great that you know how to drive like
Okay.
in beta, in like analog. You know how to drive in analog.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. I bet you guys are not good at parallel parking.
I'm excellent. I'm a
I'm
great
excellent.
parallel parker.
Unbelievable.
I'm a great parallel parker.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really good.
Just
My
like
theory's
it's like a
wrong.
1 point.
You don't front end that in, right? Let's make sure we're all on the same page there. You back end in on parallel
back
parking,
end.
right? Thank God.
We
Okay.
wouldn't
Yeah.
still be here
All right.
talking. We'd
'Cause
still.
We have society. Society dictates that we
Do you know
parallel
what?
park properly.
Do you know? You want to know what the biggest giveaway has ever been? Because I've always, like yourself, quickly responded. I feel very confident in my parallel parking.
Absolutely.
The biggest giveaway that once I learned this, it was a done deal. Line up trunks.
What do you mean line up trunks?
So okay, so you got the car who's parked. Right?
Yeah.
You pull up until your trunk.
Oh.
Once you line up trunks, it's very hard to do it wrong. A lot of
Trunk
people,
to trunk.
a lot of people leave trunk hanging over the
Yes,
spot,
and
and
then they
then you're
gotta-
at a disadvantage.
Yes.
You
But
know
that's
how
brilliant.
I learned it?
That is
Paul?
it. Huh?
I learned it by lining up the mirrors.
Same idea.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Even better, because it
But
would be hard.
but I
to,
wanted
that,
to
you're
say,
right.
I wanted to say one last thing before we move on to our last event. You know the real reason, the way to park your car between lines, let's say in a parking lot,
Yeah.
your
Door ding.
front, the driver's side. This is the way it was designed. The driver's side is supposed to be closest to that line, so that that car you're next to
Oh.
is further away when you open your door. That's the way parking spots were originally.
I never knew that.
Wait, what?
Yes.
I don't.
ne-
What?
So everyone's kind of left it. It's like what's the
Justified? Everyone's.
justified? Yeah, exactly. Like a Word document. Whether you center,
Yeah.
everyone center justifies when you park.
I don't know, Chrissy.
Right, I know.
I think. I
Right.
think. I think we're all center justifying. I think
100%.
Everyone's doing it. Yeah.
100%.
but I think that's got to be the goal. I don't know. That might be like the KFC wives' tale. I don't know.
No,
'Cause that
that's a
sounds like
fact.
such
That's
a
real.
30.
That's real.
It's real.
That's like a
Paul.
masonry, handshake. Who would know that?
I
There's
never
no
knew that.
signs.
I never knew that.
I'm here all week, folks. I'm here
But
all
I'll
week.
tell you,
Did they teach you that in driver's ed? Because I don't remember that lesson at all in
No,
driver's ed.
I think Chris C is coming
No.
up with, socialism.
You know what? Another thing our viewers, our listeners can let us know, but that is the actual proper way to park your car. The driver's side has to be closest to the line.
All right.
So
Makes sense.
It makes sense because now
It
you're
makes
never
sense.
close to the car next to you, ever.
But here's
what
the
about
problem.
the other car? Yeah.
Here's the problem. What happens if you back in?
You're not supposed to.
Now we got a major issue.
Yeah, there we
We
go.
got a major issue.
Again,
I think. Huh?
we take one vent, man. We just run with it. We've got a lot to say about
We
a
got
lot.
a
Isn't
heavy
that what we're
hitter.
supposed to do here? Isn't that,
Yes.
am I
Yeah,
getting it
but-
wrong? Are
No,
we not supposed
Josh, you're
to
doing
do that?
perfectly.
Unbelievable.
Okay. All right. All right. Just want to make sure.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we have
we
one
got-
more vent. So,
I love it. So it's gonna be
Yeah.
a long one. This is a good one. There is no meat. There's no fat on this episode. It's all meat.
yeah.
Josh came through strong with some
Josh
American.
is a pro.
Yeah.
I mean, my God,
Yeah.
I've been complaining for 50 years. So this is
There we go.
second nature.
Hey, Josh, just tell Omar and David, you're done. You're moving over.
Wow.
Ventthis.
That's what this
Jeez.
was.
You know,
That is
get that
I
background
feel-
away. Just move it off right now. Just yeah.
Chrissy, you gotta put an email in his box that lets him know that several pounds of cheddar, Monterey
Yeah.
Jack, and some fine cheeses are on his way.
Yeah.
You got to wine and dine the man.
I know how to be bought.
Yes, he's already told us his currency.
Well, should we hear the last vent?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Roberta? Let's lay it on us again.
The plunger vent, plugging up the toilet. Well, I did that at my girlfriend's apartment on our first date. I was so nervous that night that I had to go to the bathroom. So when I finished, I overflooded the toilet. It overflowed. It was a gigantic disaster. And I was convinced she would never go out with me again from that experience. I'm proud to say we are engaged and getting married next year.
Oh,
Well,
Josh,
I
you were
mean-
wiggling in your chair.
It's because it's hilarious because this same exact thing happened to me on my
No
second
way.
date with my now wife.
stop
She-
it.
I swear to God, she took me to a house party of a friend of hers, and they had a bathroom that was upstairs. Okay. And everyone's on the main floor and drinking, and the music's going, whatever. And I had to go. And at the time, I had like digestive issues. I mean, it was like,
American
anyway.
cheese bubble.
Yeah, that's what happens when you pump too much of that Velveeta in your system. And so I excuse myself and I go upstairs and I'm like, okay, let's just try to make this quick. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Let's clean up and go back downstairs. You don't want to be gone too long. Second date. That's a little weird to be, dropping heat for an hour and then going,
Dropping
so,
heat.
sorry.
Yes.
So I was up there and it was an old house and it was an old toilet and I clogged it and I didn't think I put that much in there toilet paper wise, but apparently I did. And when I flushed, it kept coming up.
Oh, God.
Now, thankfully, when I was a kid, I did that once and it overflowed. I didn't know how to stop it. My dad gave me a life lesson. He said, you go down at the bottom, turn this lever, turn that water off, it'll stop it. And I remembered that. And I turned it and I stopped it. But then I looked around. There's no plunger in this bathroom.
Oh,
What am I going to do? There's no plunger. Every bathroom should have a plunger in it, by the way. So I decided, I'm like, okay, there's nothing I can do. I can't fix this, right? I'm not going to put my hand down there. That's not happening.
good God.
There's no chance of that. And there's nothing in this bathroom that I could use. So I just put the seat down. I washed up. I went down. I said, we got to go. And she said, what? I said, I'm not feeling well. I just threw up in the bathroom. And I'm just not, something's wrong. And we drove home. And I didn't tell her till like we were a few years married. I said, you remember our second date? I said, yeah, I clogged that toilet. That's why we had to go. There was no other reason.
Hold on. Wait, where was the toilet? Where were you guys?
We were at her friend's house party.
Oh, her friends.
She took
Okay.
me to one of her friends who was having a
Yeah.
house party.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
For some reason, I was thinking it was her parents, but then you said second date. I'm like, oh, no. Okay.
No. Yeah, that one. I don't know what I would do there. Then I would probably have to end the relationship if it was at her parents.
You would have to, yeah.
Yeah, this one was salvageable.
That's so you're like right in line with our
It's the same
listener.
thing your listener said. I had the exact same experience.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you,
You know,
Gary.
it's like we had a vent about cats, and I always ask
Hate
people,
cats. Hate
well,
cats.
I'm
Gross.
highly
Good for you.
allergic.
I knew you were all right.
Anywhere I go, I say, "Do you have a cat?" I think anywhere you go, "Hey, have you got a plunger?" Because I've had problems before.
Yeah, but
Better
if you're
have a
asking
plunger
up front,
ready. Huh?
Wow.
if you're
That's a
asking up
special
front,
gal.
Chris, that's very bold. That's very
What are you
bold.
gonna do? You were stuck. What the hell are you gonna do?
I'm going to tell you there's two things. There's two things
Oh.
that have rectified this in the past decade that that I'm a huge believer in. I subscribe to, and top of my list, by the way, of must-haves.
Bring it home.
Okay.
I hope I've got one of these, but
Okay.
yeah.
These have changed the whole ball game for a clogged toilet. All right. And one of them is going to be a little contradictory to what I just said, but you'll get it in a second. The first is a bidet. You need a bidet. Okay. When I put a bidet on my toilet, oh my God, it's like, it's the greatest thing in the world. And therefore you use very little toilet paper because the bidet does the job and you feel much better. And the second is flushable wipes. Flushable wipes are a game changer. They are a game changer. The reason a clogged toilet happens, and let's be honest, it's not the logs that you're dropping. No one's dropping that much that alone clogs the toilet. It's the toilet paper that you're putting in because you're not clean yet. And that's where it gets overdone and clogs the toilet. If you use wipes, it's a better experience. It's a cleaner experience. You don't need a lot of them. If you use a bidet plus a wipe, mind blown. That's the greatest thing in the world. Then you feel like $1,000 coming out of that bathroom.
I'm
Changes
with you.
the game. It's a game changer.
Now, where the one thing that I would just parse out, because I 100% with you that it's not the particulate of ours.
Correct.
It's not the stool that's doing it. It's the paper. So if you're in a pinch and you have none of the accoutrement that you just discussed, at least just multi-flush. Flush after you poop and then wipe. And like maybe because we all know. All right, look, we're not going to go down this whole dark trail here, but you take one swipe and you're like, oh, this is going to be some paper.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like this is going to be. I'm setting up camp. I'm not going to be out of here real quick.
Yes.
So
it's a bleeder. It's a bleeder.
It's a bleeder.
Oh,
it's a bleeder.
Yeah. We got to call in SEAL Team 6 to clean this up. So then you flush. Just right away. You've got to have the presence of mind.
You're right.
And you got to flush. Then you've bought yourself some paper distance. You know what I mean? Then you can. But again, if you're getting a little concerned, paranoid, flush again.
Here's the problem, Paul. Can I just
I have a
throw a
problem
wrench
too.
in your works?
Oh shit. Okay.
The problem is that's fine and good if you're by yourself. If you're within earshot of anyone out there, they hear you flush 15 times. It's not a good look. It's just not a good look.
I'm thinking it should be 2 flushes. It should be 1 extra flush. As we try to save water.
That's a save the water in California. Gary's right on.
I'm thinking it's 1 extra flush. And I think I hear what you're saying.
Sometimes that doesn't do it. Sometimes
it may not
do it.
But if somebody is listening that close and because of this conversation, we might be able to better prepare our listeners, that they give you any kind of a, what the fuck was with all the flushes, you go, who are you? What are you listening? What do you have, a cup to the door? Like, you know what? I might have been the weirdo flushing several times for what should have just been a piss break. But who the fuck are you, Inspector Gadget? What are we listening in? Then you have a good position to turn it around, and then it's already forgotten. It's forgotten that you created.
Let me tell you this too. Toilet paper is antiquated. It's antiquated. No one should be using toilet paper anymore. When you put your hand in mud, do you just use a dry rag and wipe it off and go all clean? Now I'm ready to eat. No, you put it under hot water with soap. It's disgusting.
But
toilet paper.
Can I put the kibosh on both of you?
Please.
We had a bidet installed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
It was improperly installed.
Well,
I turned
okay.
this
I
thing
can't
on.
wait. I
It
can't
jetted me
wait.
off the toilet seat.
Whoops.
It came on so fast. I
would
literally
watch
got
that.
jetted off the toilet seat. There was a flood everywhere. I'm like, what the hell is this? I am never using that again.
Chris, do not throw all bidets out because you had a bad bidet installer. Please. Come on.
Terrible.
You
Okay.
can't
And
do
you know
that.
it was poorly installed. So you're not
I
even
didn't
blaming
know
the
until
bidet.
I turned it on.
But you can't throw
No,
the baby out with the
No.
bathwater. No pun
literally.
intended.
Well played.
You
Yeah.
can't do that.
You can't throw the bidet out with the
You can't throw the bidet.
Okay,
That's
but
exactly
here,
right.
let me just say this too, to Paul's point. Flush a few times. Okay, our toilets, the flusher is behind. So every time you want to flush,
Yeah,
you
the
got to
push button.
stand up, turn
Yeah.
around, press the button. I'm not
What, do you
standing
get the
up
chain?
with my
Do you have
pants
the
down.
chain? Do you have like the basin is like up by the
No.
head? What is this, like a
No.
George
It's-
Washington
It
toilet?
doesn't
you
have
got?
the handle on the side.
hell?
It's
She's got the
behind.
buttons on the top of the
Exactly.
tank.
So I
The
got to
buttons on the top
stand
of the
up,
tank.
Oh.
turn
Fancy.
around,
Oh.
almost fall over because the bidet just flipped over me when I put that thing on,
Listen.
and then sit back down.
All right, hold on. First off, you know where we're tailing into, and it is a question. I've actually heard someone on the radio. I think they took a poll. Do we all wipe sitting down?
No, I was about to say that.
Stop it. What do you got? Josh?
I'm not a sit down wiper.
Get the fuck. You know, you seem
not.
like such a reasonable.
I am. I know, but
Man.
I don't know what it is.
You
Maybe it's bad
stand.
knees. I can't squat. I can't do squats. So maybe it's my bad knees, my inflexibility or something. But I got to get up fully and then do my business.
I think the toilet, because like the knees have no, like it would be harder on my knees to squat.
Right.
You sitting on the toilet while wiping and just kind of resting on the alternate leg.
I don't do that.
But it is the line in parking that Chrissy's not taking advantage of. It's so much easier. You know what I mean?
And
It
that's what
takes-
we call a comeback.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, a callback. A callback.
Callback.
There it is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're the professional comedian. A callback.
And
Thank
I'll
you.
trade you for my steak and cheese.
There
It's, yeah, I blew that one early.
Well played.
No, but also, I will tell you, let me ask you, I got a question for you also. The last roommate I ever had before my wife and I moved in together, he was an Indian kid who he had a lot of different things he was into, but he brought wipes. He brought the wipes, the
So do I.
flushable wipes.
Yeah.
And
Greatest
I
thing
was
ever.
like, what the fuck? What, who brought the
Wait,
6-year-old?
Wait,
Whatever.
Paul, when you go somewhere, you bring your own wipes?
I do.
No.
I do.
When
I do,
he
Chris.
moved in.
I do.
Oh, we'll get
Chris.
to that in a sec.
I do.
Because
Jesus, the things you learn.
hold on though. So he moved in. So he was my
He
roommate.
brought wipes with him. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
he was a wipe user and he had him in the bathroom. And it took about a month, 6 weeks before one day I was home alone. I was, let's give this shit a try.
Game changer.
Unfucking believable.
Game
I would never go back.
Changer.
But let me ask you this, Josh.
Yeah.
I am still a combo. I do the heavy lifting
Yeah.
with
yeah.
the paper.
That's right. That's right.
and then-
Because you
and
got
then
to
it's a
dry off. You
finishing
got to
move.
dry off.
I,
You gotta dry
I
off.
polish with the wet wipe, and then
Yeah,
life is
yeah.
perfect.
Oh wait. The wet wipe is last.
It's last.
No, that makes no sense. That makes
Well,
no
no,
sense.
what I'm saying is that toilet paper, the dry paper, it's not chafing skin when it's still cleaning mud.
Why would you
Okay?
even do that? Just go right to the wipe.
I'm afraid I don't. Maybe it is full circle here. I don't fully trust that a flushable wipe is as flushable as they say. I like
is.
to keep it to one wipe. I like to
Okay.
close with it.
This
It's my
is why
close.
you-
It's my Mariano
You're closer.
Rivera. It's
Yeah.
I close.
I get it. It should be your setup, man. And I'm going to tell you why.
Really?
You got to go with the trifecta. The trifecta is the bidet first.
Oh,
Then you really only need one wipe. That's
Sure,
it. And then
sure.
you just use a little bit of toilet paper, which conserves.
To
And that's
dry.
to dry. That's it. Done. Game over. You're out of
Interesting.
there. It's wonderful.
interesting.
Yeah.
I
But
hope
Chris, I would
Okay.
encourage you to try a bidet again. I really would. 'cause
we
it's a-
have
it's
it
a-
on the
it's a-
toilet. I never use that toilet anymore because I'm not about to get jetted up the
Traumatized?
toilet again every
Yeah, but
time I turn the thing on.
Why don't you install it properly then?
I
Have
gotta
someone
call a
install it
plumber.
properly. Yeah.
got-
Rather than have Old Faithful beneath your ass every time you
Yeah,
have to go to the bathroom.
exactly.
Those are
Yeah.
expensive toilets, Chris. Those things can be thousands of dollars. Is it a Toto?
Well, no, you can get one. You
No,
can
you
get one
install
that
it.
attaches that you
Yeah.
install to
No,
a
but I'm
pre-existing.
curious. The one that she has right now and isn't using, is it a Toto? Like, do you have a super
Totos, that's
expensive
another
toilet that's
level.
just being unused?
No, I have I mean, it's a nice toilet. I mean,
Yeah, it's an
I don't
American
know. Is
standard.
it like a
American
Mercedes
standard.
of toilets
Yeah.
or like a Toyota of toilets? I have no idea.
Have
But
you
I'm-
ever been to Japan and tried those
Yes.
toilets?
Yes.
No.
Ridiculous.
Oh,
Another
yeah.
another
The
world.
heated?
They got
the heat.
Heat. It's amazing. Absolutely
It's
amazing.
so comforting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
like,
push
you
a
don't
button.
really-
a little 7-year-old comes out and wipes you down, and it's wonderful. Yeah, that's all with Toto toilets.
I like that Toto has different visual buttons for men and women. Have you noticed that?
That's correct. Because there's a difference of streams. The streams got to go one direction or another. That's exactly right.
Men are not washing their balls with that. We want it just south of the balls.
Where are we going?
And you know what? Just since we're on the Japan, when my wife and I went to Japan a couple years ago, even in the train stations, in like the subway depots, they've got the heated Toto toilets.
Heated toilets. They're amazing.
But that's for the first 2 stalls. The third stall is a hole in the floor.
Ooh.
And I learned it's because the Japanese know that Muslims won't use.
Oh my God.
And they only wash their ass
That's true.
with a stream. And so I didn't know the Japanese. It's a very homogenous society. Like I only saw Japanese people. We were there in December and there's no tourism, but apparently they have such a concern for Muslims coming in that even today.
Imagine being the janitor. It's got to clean the hole.
No.
I don't even know how that even happens.
And it was a decent hole. It was a nice hole. I looked at it.
I would hope it would be pretty wide so it would catch everything. I don't think you want anything hovering around the rim. How is it not
spraying the ankles? That's what I want to know. How are you not spraying your own shoes?
How are you not falling in there? I don't know. People, just get a foot in there or something. I don't know.
Oh, for God's sakes. Is it? Oh my God.
No, thank you.
So much. But hey, just to close on this, Josh, you said you carry wipes with you?
I do. Yeah. Whenever I travel, I take those pack of wipes.
What are they?
What do you mean? What are they? They're like Cottonelles, and they're just a pack of like 12. And they're this big. I know we're on a podcast, so people can't understand what I'm saying when I hear it. But they're like the size. Video. Yeah, right. But the people who are listening, whatever. Yeah. They're travel wipes that you just stash away and then you bring with you. Because if I'm in an airport, I fly a lot, or I used to fly a lot more, but I fly on occasion for work, and I don't want to go in that airport and build a teepee and then I don't need that. It's no good. And it's single ply in there. It's new sponsors, washable wipes. But and then there's another thing called dude wipes. I don't know if you ever heard of dude wipes.
That's what I use.
Those are even small. There you go. Those are tiny. Those are like a little square thing, and
they look like a
one
condom.
in there. The wrapper looks like that. Yes, and they're fantastic because that you can keep in your pocket, and that if you're just going anywhere. So whenever I go anywhere, I have one of those on me at all times, just in case. Just in case.
Just 100%. When we travel, I get the dude wipes. And I mean,
dude wipes.
You pay through the roof to get the individual ones, but you just save them for travel. And my wife usually wears a fanny pack because she's got a couple extra things. It's like the travel purse kind of thing. So I just have her carried in there, and it's.
She carries your dude wipe.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, this is like when a gangster lets his girl carry his gun. You know what? Yeah,
that's love.
Yeah, we're on that level.
That's love. If she's willing to carry your dude wipe, can I tell you when I knew my wife loved me?
Huh.
I had what the doctors thought was something wrong with my kidneys. Turned out, don't worry about it. I'm fine. There was nothing wrong. But I had to fill a gigantic gallon plus jar with my urine over a 2-week period. That's what they wanted me to do as a medical test.
Oh my God. To save it.
To save it. I had to go in there for every time I went for 2 weeks.
Oh my God.
Every time I went for 2 weeks, the nephrologist wanted this, right?
Whoa.
And my wife took my giant gallon piss jar to the doctors for me. Now that's love. That's love.
That's love.
Who would do
that's your ride
That's
or
a
die.
good wife.
Who would do that?
Yeah. You got a good one.
That's kind of weird to walk into a doctor's office with a gallon of piss and just put it down.
It's not even your own.
This is my husband's.
Did they give you a receptacle? Did you just have to go buy a
No. They give
water bottle?
They give you something. You can't be going in there with an empty Gatorade bottle. There's a thing called hot.
I was picturing the Costco
gotta be
pretzels.
sanitized.
I was picturing the pretzel container.
Oh my God.
They say, yeah, you're fine, but you have a lot of salt in your urine. There's a ton of salt in your urine. Now you can't do that. You have to use what they give you.
Oh, Jesus
This has
Christ.
been very enlightening.
Eye-opening, very eye-opening.
On things I never dreamed I'd be talking about. But hey, this is all good stuff.
It's really fun. This has been great, Josh. We're glad to have snagged you from your boys for a single shot. This is.
I appreciate it. I had a
friends,
blast.
Talking Shop. It's a podcast. Listen to it. Where are you? You're on YouTube? So tell us.
We are on YouTube at Friends Talking Shop. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Friends Talking Shop. And our website is www.friendstalkingshop.weebly, WEEBLY.com. Yep.
Fabulous.
And you can find us anywhere you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Amazon. We're all over the place. So check us out.
Well, this has been so much fun. Josh, thank you again. Friends Talking Shop, Josh Kaplan. It was a pleasure. I hope you want to come back because we love
Absolutely.
to have you back.
I would love to. Always want to vent.
And watch us too. Ventthis. Watch our podcast. Call in with your vent at 818-570-2535. Look us up on YouTube or Instagram. But we're all together, one big podcast family, and we all support each other. And again, thank you so much for being a part of our show.
Yeah, thanks, man. Killer stuff.
Oh, I loved it. A lot of fun. I appreciate it. Thanks for inviting me.